Straight ahead on 12 News, the challenges of running a school lunch program.
Every single day, we have hungry children that do not have lunch money.
And the big gift that will help one local school district. Plus, tackling crime, what year-end crime statistics reveal and what Brooklyn Park will focus on next. But first, run, hide, fight.
Watching this video is a valuable step for planning for your own safety.
The tool Hennepin County uses to help save lives. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Alexandra Renslow.
And I'm Mike Johnson. Incidents like Monday's shooting at New Hope City Hall put everyone on edge.
But there are some things you can do to protect yourself if a gunman were to walk into a building and start shooting. Sonia Goen spent the day at the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office. She explains the concept of run, hide, fight.
Read a board sign.
Real-life situations like this can leave you feeling helpless and very vulnerable.
Get down, everyone get down.
There are some things you can do to protect yourself.
Every situation is different, so there is no one thing that fits all.
The Hennepin County Sheriff's Office put out this video called Run, Hide, Fight. They say you only have seconds to react.
Most of these active shooter incidents are over in just a matter of seconds.
Unfortunately, scenarios like these are becoming all too common.
If you look around the country, you're going to see each and every day somewhere in this country there's something like an active shooter. Sometimes they're in schools, sometimes in businesses, sometimes in shopping malls, sometimes at city council meetings.
Experts recommend always checking for exit doors and windows when you're in public places.
It's no different when you go into a hotel room and you look around and see where are the exits.
And should you encounter an active shooter incident, act like your life depends on it.
You run if you can, hide if you can't get away. At the very least, don't become a victim, fight.
Now, people must use their own discretion during an active shooter event as to whether they decide to run, hide, or fight. But whatever you choose to do, try to stay calm until help arrives. Well, Mike and Alice, we've put a link on our website if everybody wants to check out the video.
All right.
Thanks, Sonia.
Thank you.
Overall, crime ticked up 1% in Brooklyn Park last year. It's a small increase from 2013 when the city touted crime at a 20-year low. Yet violent crime is up 25% in the city, and robberies are a large part of that. It's where Brooklyn Park Police will target efforts this year. Inside the Brooklyn Park Police Headquarters, the main project is work on a $9.1 million building expansion and addition of a police garage. Outside, on the streets, the focus for police is reducing robberies and engaging youth. In 2014, robberies were up 27% in Brooklyn Park. And the driver of those crimes? Police say it was street-level robberies, targeting cell phones and other handheld electronic devices. The message for the public: be aware of your surroundings.
People were just more aware of that those devices are kind of a target of those that are out to do ill things, that if they're more aware of that, they can protect themselves and protect their property better.
Police Chief Craig Enveldson says his department is also ramping up narcotics investigations where there could be a link between the rise in robberies.
People were potentially coming to Brooklyn Park to make a purchase of narcotics, and then they were becoming the victim of a robbery.
While juvenile crime is down overall in the city, it remains an issue in the Zane corridor from 85th Avenue to 63rd. That's where juvenile crime rose nearly 6%. Police are working in collaboration with the city's Recreation and Parks Department and the YMCA to engage and connect youth through the Youth Violence Prevention Initiative.
We've really been meaning to take a look at what we've been doing over the last 5 years to really assess what we think is working and what potentially could change.
In August of this year, a law will go into effect that will essentially make cell phones less valuable and potentially reduce thefts. A so-called kill switch will enable people to disable their smartphones remotely and make the device useless.
In light of a measles outbreak spreading across the country, including a case on the University of Minnesota campus, a Golden Valley lawmaker will introduce a bill requiring parents to better understand vaccines. Representative Mike Freiberg is the author of a bill requiring parents who opt out of vaccinations for their children to meet first with a doctor. Freiberg says not immunizing your child puts others at risk for serious illness. Measles is highly contagious. 9 out of 10 people who get the disease never receive the MMR vaccine. While the vaccine is not 100% effective, studies show it does drastically reduce your risk of getting measles.
Supreme Court Justice and former Viking Alan Page says serving on Minnesota's High Court is the highest honor he's received. Page spoke to the North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce in Maple Grove today. He says allowing political parties to endorse candidates running for judge threatens trust in the courts. He also weighed in on a case the U.S. Supreme Court is deciding on, whether judges can directly solicit campaign contributions.
What people are trying to do is buy results. And when it looks like results are being bought, there's no reason at all for our citizens to have any trust or confidence in the judicial process.
On the subject of football, Page says he is only a casual NFL viewer. He says it's a dangerous game that faces challenges. Page says there should be concern about injuries, especially with younger players. Now to a gap that school districts say is hard to fill.
It involves school lunches, and as Shannon Slatton explains, a first-of-its-kind donation will help students who don't qualify for free or reduced price lunch.
Remember those days when the school lunchroom served up your favorite food?
Get out of the way, it's Dunker Day!
A lunchtime favorite is on the menu at Elm Creek Elementary. And every student who wants a hot lunch can get one.
In our district, we have about 42% of our kids that are eligible for free and reduced price meals. That means that it's over 11,000 students that have to pay the full price of a meal, and frankly, some families struggle with that.
But students are not denied food, and student lunch debt can add up.
Every single school, every single day, we have hungry children that do not have lunch money.
Since the beginning of the school year, the amount of student lunch debt for the entire district is around $12,000. That's 3 times higher than normal. But for the first time, a donation will help make up the difference.
We should be a church that that just adds value to the community.
Jonathan Brozazog is pastor of Passion Church, which meets on Sundays at Maple Grove Senior High.
I just think it's part of the church's responsibility that if we're gonna meet in a school, let's make sure that there's not students coming to this same school throughout the week that are hungry.
So the church has committed to giving $1,500 a month until the end of the school year to help pay for school lunches.
With all the things that underprivileged kids have to worry about, what if the one thing they didn't have to worry about was lunch?
The church launched the website schoollunchmatters.com to accept additional donations.
How grateful we are.
It's a donation unlike any that Tom Pellegrino has seen in his 20-plus year career.
It's hard to not be inspired.
And one that helps a very worthwhile cause.
To make sure they're ready when they go into the classroom, to be engaged and to learn.
In Maple Grove, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
And the district is putting the money into a gift account and will attempt to determine which families need the funds to cover their lunches. Well, coming up, we're off to Champlin Park High School to meet this week's standout student.
And then a little bit later in sports, the race is on for Northwest Suburban Conference Nordic Ski titles.
But first, fading sun and fading temperatures. Friday will feel a bit more winter-like. When he took the job in Brooklyn Park, he had no idea what he was walking into. Now, Brooklyn Park City Manager Jamie Verbrugge is walking into a new adventure. Brooklyn Park City Council members and staff gave their well wishes this week to Verbrugge, who is leaving to become the city manager of Bloomington. Verbrugge made community engagement a priority in his 6+ years on the job in Brooklyn Park, focusing on issues like public safety and business growth. What he didn't realize was that he would be delving into international affairs.
The experience over the last 7 years has been life-changing, and I don't use that description lightly. I joked after being here the first couple of years that I didn't realize when I came here that I would be doing international diplomacy. But we're a global community with 20% of our residents being foreign-born.
Verbrugge traveled to Liberia with the mayor in 2012, and of course, what's a goodbye party without a few jokes? As Mayor Jeff Lundy said, what happened in Liberia stays in Liberia.
It's a good line.
Yeah, it is. Well, sometimes when people use the term student athlete, the emphasis is focused more on the athlete portion.
But today's standout student from Champlin Park has been able to excel in both fields. As Delane Cleveland reports, this student achieves success through a mantra of hard work.
Of angular velocity and time, you can find the angular acceleration.
Spend a few minutes in AP physics class at Champlin Park High School.
Because there's acceleration, the velocity is changing.
And if you're not familiar with the subject, it can almost sound like a foreign language.
Angular velocity is changing angular position per time.
Yet that's not the case for senior Nick Schmidtke. This class is one of his favorites.
I'd say math and science kind of are. They definitely, they're set, structured classes where you know, a certain answer and everything with that.
This aspiring engineer carries a 4.2 GPA and a dedication to academics.
I take a lot of AP, IB, and honors classes.
And yes, he takes the hardest classes Champlin Park has to offer.
The reason for that is just so then I can get so far ahead. And then in college, I'll have all these credits done. I'll be able to start as a sophomore.
His teachers rave about his work ethic.
Nick, planning to go into engineering, has really, grabbed onto that material and really embraced it. It's challenging course material. He works really hard to be successful.
That's not the only area where Nick works hard to be successful.
Nick Schmidtke getting it up the wing.
He's also the captain of the Champlin Park hockey team.
No time to panic, just relax, get your team together.
Assistant captain of the soccer team, and academically...
Cross that out. That's supposed to be acceleration.
He's ranked number 2 overall in his senior class.
His ability to really maintain that balance is definitely refreshing as he focuses and is prepared to be successful in both arenas.
Meantime, Nick says defying the stereotype people have about student athletes is a sense of pride.
I just try to be a role model to younger players and everything, saying that it is possible to not only be a leader in your sports, but also a leader in the classroom as well.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Nick has narrowed down his list of colleges to 5 choices. It's Minnesota, Wisconsin, Purdue, Miami, Ohio, and Georgia Tech. Coming up, a treasure found in Plymouth.
But first in sports, Terry Tuma drops a line for his weekly ice fishing tip. John Jacobson is in next.
It hasn't been the best of winters for snow lovers in the area, but we do have some strong high school Nordic ski teams in the northwest suburbs. Tom Norman of Armstrong, the leader by over a minute heading into the pursuit part of the Northwest Suburban Conference boys meet Wednesday. Norman had skied the morning classic style race in 16 minutes and 25 seconds. The senior continued his pace in the skate race and finished in first place, a full 2 minutes ahead of the runner-up. Second place finisher was Ian Mead of Andover as the Huskies won the team title. Mitchell Damer of Osseo comes in fourth place, 41 seconds behind Meade. Coming up on the left in blue is Champlin Park's Ian Evans. He places 6th, right behind Irondale's Tim Axberg. Armstrong's Jake Delaney places 10th, and Nathaniel Johnson of Park Center in the green and gold coming up here is in 11th place. In the girls' race, Armstrong dominates. Falcons Jr. Hannah Rudd is the winner with a pursuit time of 17 minutes, 51 seconds. Osseo senior Sarah Bezdacek takes second place. But then it's a cast of Falcons. Dottie Anderson is third, Kelsey Sather fourth, May Barnes fifth, and Leah Rudd sixth. It's an impressive showing as Armstrong places 6 skiers in the top 10. The Falcons easily win the conference title.
It's really great to be a part of such a strong team. It's great when we get compliments out on the course, but us as a team, we work really hard, and it's fun. We have a big group of middle schoolers. Almost half of our conference team is middle schoolers, so it's fun.
It means a lot. I've had it as a goal for a long time, but my teammate John Delaney, he graduated last year. He was my mentor. I always looked up to him and stuff. He came and cheered me on today too, so that was fun.
Here's a look at the final team scores. Armstrong girls win the conference championship meet with 699 team points. Irondale is second. Among the other local schools, Osseo finishes 5th, Champlin Park 6th, Maple Grove 8th, and Park Center 11th. In the boys meet, Andover wins with Irondale 2nd and Armstrong 3rd. Champlin Park's boys finished 5th, 1 spot ahead of Osseo. Park Center is 9th and Maple Grove 10th. The Maple Grove boys basketball team is ranked 3rd in the state, and they're back on a good roll after a loss to number 1 Champlin Park. The Crimson are 16-3, with 2 of the losses coming to teams that were ranked number 1 at the time. After Champlin Park pulled away to break open a close game against the Crimson January 20th, Maple Grove has responded with lopsided wins over Andover and Irondale and a big rally against a good Wayzata club. And they learned from the Champlin Park loss.
Yeah, it wasn't bad because we know when we were in the game with them, but we just let it slip. We just need to know how to put 2 halves together and keep our composure.
I thought we played well at Champlin Park. The last 5 minutes of the game, against a team like that, you have to finish out, in the whole 36 minutes. So I like where we're at. We're still getting better. We're still learning, and that's the most important thing to me right now. Is this late in the season, and I'm still seeing growth in our guys.
Maple Grove is at Park Center Friday and hosts Totino Grace Tuesday at their new home court at Osseo Junior High. Using minnow heads to hook winter walleyes is the subject of this week's Channel 12 ice fishing tip. Here's pro angler Terry Tuma.
When we're fishing for walleyes with a jig, short shank jig that is, and a minnow head, first of all, put the minnow on first, and I usually run the hook into the mouth and out through the center of the head. And then I pinch it off, just as such, just pinch it off between a gill plate and the dorsal fin, about halfway. You want to pinch it off because, first of all, you have a lot of meat hanging, which is going to offer scent and also extra taste. And then instead of using a knife, and cutting it off, you want to pinch it off because you have this jagged edge, and believe it or not, that vibrates and flashes in the water. So that becomes another attractor. So now you have a trigger and attractor. How often should I change minnow heads? For finicky fish, especially the walleye, 5 to 10 minutes, but you have to take advantage of fresh scent. Scent and taste and smell are the big ingredients in catching walleyes under a tough bite. Give this a try. You're going to be very successful. Be sure you tune in next week for another ice fishing tip on Channel 12.
Thanks, Terry. That's it for sports.
All right, thanks, John. We'll be right back. It took all 4 clues to find the Plymouth Fire and Ice Medallion, and it was the final one that clinched the deal.
Liza and Paul's schoolmeisters had been actively looking for it, but when clue number 4 came out this week, they knew to look in Swan Lake Park near their home. The last clue mentioned a park named for a white-winged friend, like the swan that the park is named after. So the schoolmeisters found it, won a $250 prize. Liza says she and her husband are in the process of adopting a child, and the $250 will go into a fund for that. Isn't that neat?
Yeah. Good winners then, that's right.
That'll do it. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you back here tomorrow. Community Corner is coming up next.